Hello ladies and gentlemen, once again thank you for joining us on the Travel Risk Management series, and today we're going to be talking about personal location devices, GPSs, and the realm of software and technology, and we're joined today with a team from Are You OK Personal Security. And on the line we have today Steve Horniak, we have Doug Harris and Rob Spire, and they're going to be sharing with us some of the developments, industry standards, and certainly a number of very interesting product processes that they've spent quite a lot of time developing, and they're going to share some insights on both the technical and practical applications. So first of all, welcome gentlemen. And stunned silence, Steve first.
Thank you very much.
That's always good when we have a panel discussion. So Steve, we'll cut to you firstly. Can you give us a bit of an overview as to Are You OK Personal Security? I know you've got quite a solid technical background. Can you just give us an overview of who you are and where you're at the moment?
Absolutely. Steve Horniak, been involved in technology and software industry and business for almost 25 years. Started off at PricewaterhouseCoopers and then went over to Oracle in the early days. Following that, I did two startup companies, both of which I took public on the NASDAQ here in the U.S. Went off into doing some venture fund activity on my own before coming back into the entrepreneurial world and starting several companies, of which Are You OK Personal Security is one of the leading companies right now. My partner, David Spicer, who unfortunately can't be with us this evening, also met David at Oracle, and David was one of the pioneering engineers with AT&T in the Bell Labs group that did the initial cellular platform. David was also Senior Vice President for Larry Ellison at Oracle, and I recruited him away to work with me at one of my software companies. And subsequently, David and I started Are You OK about 3 years ago from an infrastructure perspective, and the actual application has been under development for about 18 months.
Okay. Excellent. Now, we're talking about travel risk management, and as you've said, personal security is a growing topic and certainly becoming a niche within travel risk management itself. Now, with GPS being the buzzword that it is, and the sheer explosion of applications on both the Android and iPhone applications, can you tell us what it is that you're doing and how that is different to most people's perception of the handheld GPSs, which is a separate device, separate integration, separate charging, separate battery life? How is yours different, and what are you evolving with?
Absolutely, been more than happy to answer that. The main thing that we've done is a couple-fold. Number one is we have absolutely not built an iPhone or Android app. There's a lot of people that are building iPhone or Android apps which are very heavy on the phone and not very very light on the network. In other words, they require a lot of processing capabilities on the phone, which make it a very fragile application. We focused on the infrastructure of the back end and building a global infrastructure that will leverage native capabilities that the cellular carriers have built from a data perspective, as opposed to requiring people to do text or email communication in a duress situation. Therefore, you're carrying around a personal GPS device with your cell phone today, and location services are becoming a core component of what lots of applications are doing. So what Are You OK has done is leveraging the ability that we know and can know based on your permission where you are all the time. So in a duress situation, we're able to immediately collaborate and communicate with your network of friends and family, as well as local monitoring authorities, if you so desire.
Okay, which, as I alluded to, is a significant deviation from those who have tried to follow the more traditional route, which leaves you having to recharge a separate device, carry the separate device. We're already carrying that device in our hands. 98% of travelers and a growing majority of just about everyone on the planet has a phone in their hand, do they not?
Absolutely, and what we're seeing, if any of you have children of young age around here, and it's particularly in the States, is kids when they reach 10 years old and sometimes even younger are carrying around smartphones. and these smartphones never leave their side. They're always with them. In fact, my kids sit them on their bedside table and use them as an alarm clock. The good thing about that is that since they always have it with them, it's almost like a security or safety blanket to them. It's their main form of communication. But that also allows them to have the safety and security that at a push of a button, their mom, their dad, their friends, their family can know that they're in a duress situation. Plus, if elected to do so, a third-party security monitoring company can be at their beck and call. So if they get in a situation where they're taken, they're abducted, they've fallen, they've gotten injured, they're lost, etc., they have the device with them that can immediately help people find out exactly where they are and collaborate as a group to get them as quickly and efficiently as possible.
Excellent. Now, before we dive into some of the more technical aspects of how does it work behind the scenes, how is this configured? Can individuals subscribe to it? Is it a monitored process? Can companies set it up on their own networks, or is there derivatives that are branded and so on? How does the configuration work?
Absolutely, and there's multiple ways that can be done. First and foremost, you can go out today on the iPhone App Store or on the Android App Store and download the application for a minor fee and have the application immediately up and running to collaborate with you and your family members. And currently, we're not charging any monthly subscription fee for that. That will change in the future, but initially we will launch and give people the opportunity to trial the system for a period of time for no monthly fees. Secondly, it is available for corporations to self-monitor. So in other words, a lot of companies have their own monitoring security personnel, and those security personnel can leverage our console that runs in the background as a central monitoring tool to see and manage and help any duress situation. And thirdly, the Are You OK personal security application will be available through branded partners and trusted security vendors as a brand under their label in a monitored manner. So in other words, you can pay a monthly fee similar to what you pay for your house today to monitor your friends and family. And basically the whole point is people today in the U.S. spend anywhere from $20 to $50 a month to protect and monitor their house. How much is your family worth to protect and monitor?
Yeah, exactly. And certainly once we start to get into business and corporate travel, we've got a whole array of productivity and efficiency as well as safety issues, because the only constant with business travel is change, and certainly it's an increasing amount of delay, and having a means of communicating is becoming almost standard practice.
Absolutely. You've got business executives who travel frequently, and having the safety and knowledge to know that the second that they land on the ground, regardless of the network carrier, regardless of the location, as long as they can get a cell signal and a GPS line of sight, that they have people on call a push button away.
Now, let's elevate into some of the more technical aspects. How does this interface display to the representative or the companies that are monitoring this? Is this a sort of a Google Map or Bing Map type process, and they can search down to individuals and communicate in a two-way fashion? What's some of the more technical specifics of how this works?
Well, dissimilar to some of the ways people are doing it today is we do not take a Big Brother approach. So in other words, and a lot of people don't like that. So in other words, you out there at any point in time, someone that's monitoring you cannot look on a map and see where you are. The application is designed to be, when you are in a situation of duress, you let people know that. That signal is immediately transmitted to your defined user group. And those people are immediately notified, whether it be on their smartphone or in essential monitoring mode. It pops up as an alert on their screen. When that alert pops up, you can see exactly where they are, what location they are. You can also see the location of everyone in their network and the distance that those people are away from the person in duress. So immediately, say you've got Bob, he's in a duress situation, and his friend Bill is 2 miles away from him. So Bob initiates an alert, emergency, I've gotten an accident, I'm injured. Well, his friend may be significantly closer than anyone else to him in addition to the emergency crew, so he can come aid, to his assistance and get directions dynamically, etc., straight away from his phone. The other thing that we provide is the ability to dynamically look up police and fire that are local to the person in duress. And this is kind of interesting because now you've got a whole collaboration network that if someone is in duress and they perhaps can't look up or call police or otherwise, or 911 is not local to you. So this person, you can dial 911 locally, but this person may be halfway around the world. But by simply leveraging the police fire lookup, we do leverage internet technologies, and we do leverage a lot of Google technologies within our application and API calls in the background. We can tell you the distance to and the local phone number of the closest police and fire to that person in duress.
Okay. And is this a two-way platform? That is, someone who may be aware of a situation, can they push information to the affected traveller to advise them if they're not aware?
It's actually even better than that. It's a many-to-many collaboration network, and it's real time. And we do not rely upon texting or email messaging, which is incredibly fragile. One of the things that people need to understand is that the cellular network out there today is a very, very, very fragile network that was designed for voice communication. It was not really designed for industrial strength transmission of data and information. Therefore, we've leveraged our years of knowledge in building back-end enterprise applications and communication applications to build a collaboration network so that anyone that is in your defined user group can see and collaborate real-time with each other bidirectionally. And that is real-time both on your handheld device and as well as real-time through a web browser or real-time from essential services management perspective.
Okay. And certainly what we've seen is probably the first ones to pursue the nature of travel monitoring and tracking and surveillance to a degree without the big brother factor were those that began with the capture of airline tickets and hotel accommodation bookings. And we've seen the success of TripIt, TripAdvisor, WorldMate Live. How does this system integrate with say a corporate solution for tracking the travel in the air? And now that they're on the ground, and your system would complement that, but do they work well together?
Right now, we have not integrated with any travel type or other itinerary type applications. Again, we've mainly designed it as the application to be there when you need it in duress. Again, not to oversee or overlook what you're doing. What we've focused on from an integration perspective is integrating with all the top back-end central management and console systems. So in other words, the security companies today that monitor your home or monitor your building use software to do that monitoring. They've got people that sit in a central station in front of the computer terminal 7x24 with this monitoring software. As opposed to forcing them to use yet another tool, we've elected to integrate with their existing tools, thereby when you have an "Are you okay?" emergency, or even perhaps a check-in, a traveler's landing and they want to check in and they'll hit an alert versus an emergency, the alert